My name is Danielle Calhoun, 35 years old. My mother is Stephanie Calhoun.
My name is Lakeisha Calhoun. I'm from Middletown, Ohio, but I lived in Atlanta, Georgia, and I am 26 years old.
When I was little, I just remember being spoiled. My mom worked I remember her working, I remember her having a car, I remember her taking me everywhere. She was messing with Chi. That's my sister Ariel's dad and my brother Tyrese's dad. But yeah, she was messing with Chi, but I was there before they came along, of course, so they wasn't even here yet. But yeah, we went everywhere. She had a lot of money at the time. She worked. She had nice cars. We went a lot of places. We lived in El Paso, Texas. We went to Hawaii, and Georgia. We lived in Georgia. It wasn't until she came back to Middletown that I feel like her addiction really started to come into play.
Growing up, I couldn't tell you a relationship with my mom because I didn't have one. So I could tell you the relationship I had with my great aunt and my great uncle who raised me, who is Emery David and Diana Calhoun David. Diane she's one of a kind. So yeah, I grew up straight facts, no sugarcoating anything. So therefore, like everything that came out her mouth, it was real. So my household, really wasn't nothing wrong with my household. It was just a lot of drinking and smoking in my household. So that's how I grew up, and that's how I ended up being growing up.
Young, like my mom used to go out, you know, her and all her friends. You had Tony Burton, Laverne, Nikki Morgan, all of them people that she used to hang with, Tony Ford, my cousin Teensy. They would always link up, get dressed together, go out, you know what I mean? And like, I was young, you know, you see them doing little stuff, you know what I mean? Like, you know, they smoking joints, they got, I think the St. Ives was popping, 40 ounces, the VFW, the fucking B&R, the E&Q, all of that shit was going on back then. Like, and my Aunt Diane actually worked at the EQ, and I used to be in the bar with her all the time. So if my mom would be working and I would be there with my Aunt Diane, you would see, you know, your old school cats in there coming through drinking, sliding somebody this or sliding somebody that, but you really didn't know what was going on because you naive and you a kid. But I would say the first indication, I really didn't know nothing was wrong with my mom. The first time I was really able to tell something was wrong with my mom was when she went to jail the first time and got out. When she got out, she was my mom, who I always remember. I don't remember her falling off so bad, her first number, like prior to her first number. She just ended up in jail. My mama was still alive, my grandma Dean, and she, you know, everything was fine. She went to jail. She just told my mom had some warrants. She went to jail. She would get out. She got out. She was fine. And I think after that, when she got out, I was around her, and then like something just changed in her. You know what I mean? Like she didn't treat me no different. Something was different. She had a different look in her eyes. She had a different pep in her step. She had a different, you know what I mean? Like her behaviors was different a little bit. Like she was a little more anxious. She was a little more, you know what I mean, jittery. She was a little bit more, you know, like, so I still didn't know at the time what was going on because I was still young, you know what I mean?
Diane told me that my mom had me in jail and that her mom made her get me. I really don't know really too much of the details why I was supposed to be with her or how I got with her. They really never even broke that down to me, really. So all I really know is that Diane had to keep me in the family. I wasn't supposed to go anywhere else but in the family.
I knew something was different, but after that, it was just kind of a whirlwind of things happened. She kept going to jail. We ended up with my grandma Bonnie. My grandma Bonnie ended up losing us to Children's Services, moved, didn't even care, moved back to Georgia with her other daughter, my aunt, and shit, I was in foster care.
I got a letter every week, every day. Like, it was plenty of letters. I even have aunties in jail I never seen before. So that was our communication from my real mom, Stephanie. I really like didn't have like a touchy-feeling type of communication with her. It was just always a jail call. Always have 15 minutes or something like that with her. And then, like, the day I really remember touching my mom was on May 5th. I can't remember the year. The day she got out at my grandpa's house. And we all went down there. And then I just never left. I just loved her after that. It was just like, we just made our own bond. It was like, it's my mom. Like, I didn't have a mom growing up in school, so it was like I got picked on for that because my mom was my aunt. And everybody had moms and dads, and I didn't. So every time I told somebody this was my mom, I was lying because they didn't believe me. I got the picture of my mom off Google, and I don't have a mom, and this, that, and the third, until my mom popped up on a movie. All the time. All the time I was angry because my mom wasn't there. So, like, I only had a couple friends that could understand my situation because I was really a messed up kid because I didn't have a mom or a dad. So I did a lot of fighting because of the mom. Yo, mom, you ain't got a mom.
I think I was like 11. I had ran off from my foster home. I was in a foster home, actually. My mom was supposed to come see me. She was coming to see me, though. And she was supposed to come get me on the weekend, and she ain't come, like. And I left. I knew she was in Hamilton. You know what I mean? Like, so I come to Hamilton. I run into Face, Chris Johnson, R.I.P. Face. Like, he was my godfather, actually. He had me with him all the time, and my mom was really close. He knew she had started draping off and was real bad, smoking crack down there, stuff like that. So when I would see him, he would make sure I was all right. If I needed somewhere to go, if I was on a run, he would make sure I had somewhere to sleep. You know what I mean? Him and Jolly and a couple Frenchmen and a couple other niggas that's dead, R.I.P. Frenchmen. But he took me to her one time. He like, when the last time you seen your mom? I'm like, it's been like 8 months. And he took me exactly to the hotel room she was at. She was in there with a whole bunch of females. Everybody was just in there getting high. It was tricks in there. By this time, I'm 11, 12. I kind of know a little bit about what's going on. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, I ran. He took me over there, snatched her out the room. Like,
I never had a problem with how she did it, because I remember catching my mom, Diane, buying shit. That's what messed me up. So I end up asking my real mom, Stephanie, about it. And that's when she had told me what it was, what it do to you, and all that stuff. So I just had to get an understanding. So, like, I didn't have like any anger because she wasn't there, because physically she couldn't be there. She chose to do something else instead of be there for me and my siblings or whatever. And I was cool with that because I wasn't that, like, it wasn't like I was that far away. I accepted a lot of things that came with her, and I mean, it hurt me to accept the stuff that she does and what she put us through, but at the same time, I can't change nothing that she does.
My sisters, they kind of like my baby sister, Kiki, my Aunt Diane ended up snatching her. I got taken from my grandma Bonnie. So my Aunt Diane wasn't even in the picture at the time then. But when I was in foster care, she started coming to see me and stuff like that. Then I started getting in trouble. I'm 13, 14, now I'm going to JDC, stuff like that, because I run away a lot. I started getting in trouble, and I end up aging out of foster care after like 16, 17 foster homes and group homes. And I went to prison from Middletown, from here in Middletown. And yeah, I ended up in prison with my mom. We was in the county together at first. I was 17 in the county. I could not come out. I was on 23-1. I came out at night to use the phone and to shower. All day I was locked in my cell for the whole time, like probably like 10 months until I got sent to prison. And by the time I got to prison though, my mom had already went to another prison, but she ended up coming back to prison, her last number in 2008, and we was in prison together. And it was just a fucking mess. I didn't understand why I was in foster care. That's why I ran away so much. I like grew up on 20. My grandma had us before everything. My great grandma, mama's, she had us before everything like start falling apart, you know what I mean? But she ended up dying. So like I was always taught by her that, oh, family is this and family is that, and we stick together and you're supposed to be there for each other and all of this. And I go to foster care and it really ain't people that's making the effort to like really reach out and grab me, like especially when I start getting in trouble. You know what I mean? I was really kind of discarded. You know what I mean? Like they like, shit, she getting in trouble now. I ain't got the time for that shit. You know what I mean? It was like I wasn't enough, you know what I mean, for them. Like, so I would run away and come home and they would catch me and they would take me back. They would take me back to whatever, foster care. I would go to jail, you know what I'm saying? Then they would find me a placement and the cycle would be just over and over again. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, foster care was just, I ain't felt like I belonged nowhere. Like I had 17, 18 different placements. I went back to foster care a couple years ago and got my records. And every placement I ever been in, all the meds they was trying to put me on, I used to refuse meds. They would try to lock me up for that. It just was a lot of shit. I feel like it's like being in a prison system, but you're a child. You're like an orphan. You know what I mean? Like, and that's just basically what it is. My relationship with my mother affected every fucking thing I did in my life. I think it affected me worse than it affected my sisters because I knew my mother before she was a drug addict. All of my other sisters, Bianca was born kind of sick. My mom kind of couldn't, she was born sick and my mom was like starting to drape off into drugs with Bianca. Like, so my Aunt Doris had Bianca. And then when my mom had me in Ariel, but then when she started draping off into drugs for real, Kiki come, my aunt get Kiki, you know what I mean? It was always somebody in there to swoop in and help my mom with her babies or whatever the hell she was doing, you know what I mean? Like, and she kept having them, like, but I feel like, I don't know, I was just left in that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just left in that motherfucker for real. Like motherfuckers, I was good enough to come and stay the weekend or, you know what I mean, shit like that, but then nobody want to deal with me. You know what I mean? Like I had too many problems already. And like I said, like me knowing that my mom was clean, was a good mom, I was still holding on to that idea of who she was and not realizing who she was becoming, and it was hurting me, you know what I mean? Like, so I'm running back here trying to find her, trying to make her realize what she got, make her see that her kids love her, and she can't even see none of that. You know what I mean? Like, so then I carry on into my adult life. I'm gay, female. I'm dealing with women who are toxic, who leave, who play a game, who hear back and forth, you know what I mean? Like, I'm recently just coming out of that. You know what I mean? And I still struggle with it because that's my idea of love, because I feel like my mom, you know what I mean, loved me the most, you feel me? Like, so like, you always want to be loved unconditionally in that way. So however they show love to you is how you're going to display love or want love, you know what I mean, until you know it's something better or different or more healthier for you, you know what I mean? Like, and I know like with girls I done discarded, being scared at first to get close to people because I'm scared they gonna leave. Then getting close to people and holding on so tight, not wanting them to leave, you know what I mean? Or playing a back and forth game with people, you know what I mean? Like, just being with toxic people, just period, that got the same type of trauma wounds that I got. Like, you feel me? Like, and you just attract that type of people when that's what you walking in, you know what I mean? People can see that shit no matter how you try to dress it up. So.
My mom has a lot of growth. She done changed a lot. Like, I'm proud of my mom, to be exact. Like, she's really doing really well. From the time of me being a kid and seeing the stuff that I seen as a kid when she got out of jail, and to the time I'm seeing her now as me being an adult and me being a mom, she's a mom. Like now she knows that she's a mom. Like she has to be a mom. Like better yet, a grandmom. So like she didn't do it for us, but she has time to do it for her grandkids. So that's what makes me more proud of her than what she missed out on my life.
Me putting a documentary together, like I had already struck my inner peace. That's the only reason why I was able to put it together. You know what I mean? Like people don't want to come and be like, oh yeah, my mom was a crackhead and I was in all these foster homes and you know what I mean? I had 2 pair of pants and 5 shirts when I was little because I wasn't shit and I used to be musty as fuck. Like you don't want to talk about that shit. You know what I mean? Like, but I feel like if I can put it out here and wear that shit, like, cause people think I'm just, you know what I mean? Like, it ain't even all, you know what I mean? People really thought, like, even when I was in jail, I come from some silver spoon ass family. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I ain't even fucking have a family, you know what I mean? Like, so it was like, I don't know, like, I just think, like, I've been struck my peace with it. Like, that's why I'm able to just leave motherfuckers where they at. Let people, with my mom, if she feeling she want to be what she want to be and act like, you know what I mean, and hurt herself, I let her be where she at. You know what I mean? And if she don't, I'm here to support you. You know what I mean? Like, but like I've been struck my peace with it. I just feel like it ain't nothing wrong with it. We got a stigma on us, you know what I mean? Like as black people with it, like, you know what I mean? We carry it like it's so many things that happen to us in our life and we ashamed, and it ain't no reason to be ashamed. Like it ain't our fault. Like so many things that didn't happen, like one even in the motherfucker's control, like, and you get blamed for it and you gotta deal with the consequences and the repercussions of your family, your mother, your parents, whatever, you know what I mean? And you could do something different though. Like it'd be harder to climb up out that shit when you come from nothing, but you can though.
I mean, like I said, I didn't know my mom as a kid, but as I grow up to be a mom myself, it's a lot that I think I'm like my mom. Like we have a lot in common that I didn't think we had a lot in common. Like from the jail time, I don't have a prison number, but I have been in jail. I have left my kids. I have messed up with my kids. Like, so me now, I literally sit on the phone and tell my mom I'm sorry 1,000 times because I used to hate her for that. And now it's like I'm doing the same thing my mom did, and I have my own kids, and I'm taking myself from them when I need to be real in life and they need me more than anything. It's just, I don't know, I can see myself in my mom. I mean my mom and me more that I'm getting older than I did when I was a kid messing my life up. I'm learning to break the cycle because I done left my firstborn son 3 times, and I left my 8-month-old 1 time, and it finally took for me to have 2 kids to realize that my kids need me, and only people that can be there for them is me. Like I can't be like my mom. Like I don't want to be like my mom. I want to be better than my mom. I want my kids to be better than me. I don't want them to think jail is okay. I want them to prosper. I'm going to learn how to break the cycle for my own kids. So that's my goal, is to show them a different way than the way they see on TV, or the way they see that I'm going, or the way they see my sister, my brother, anybody. So therefore, they're going to grow up better than me.
Yeah, I definitely think it could help somebody. Yeah, I think so, because like, if I would have felt like when I was 14, 15, 16, if I wouldn't have been carrying so much anger in me and so much shame in me about like what I had been through, blaming myself for everything, you know what I mean? Why my mom ain't here, why my cousins don't care about me enough to get me out of children's services, why this, like, if I would have had a better understanding and somebody would have told me about it and kind of walked me through it a little bit, like, I wouldn't have went to jail and did some dumb shit at 17 and went to jail and wasted a decade of my motherfucking life. Like, You know what I mean? Like, I learned in there and I was able to sit down and stuff like that, but that ain't no place for nobody. You know what I mean? Like, that's hell on earth. You feel me? Like, and that shit just, that's why I just be trying to save people for that shit. Like, I be trying to save my sisters from that shit. That shit ain't for nobody. You know what I mean?